Test, 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 test. Are we working? Looks like we're working on my end. Type a 1 in chat if you can hear me. All right, we're getting some ones in there. Thank you guys for participating, and I appreciate it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Red Seat live stream, the last Red Seat live stream of the 2025 calendar year. Isn't that kind of crazy to say? Well, potentially, right? Unless they sign somebody tonight or tomorrow or something crazy like that. But let's say some hellos. Trendy, what's going on? Meek, how are you? Hunter, how are you? Daniel, Dog, Max, how you doing? Carrie, how are you? Gerbil, how you doing? Broman, I love that name if it's in reference to Romanancy. Sox fan, Bob, Christian, Antonio, Brent, Snowman. All right, we did our intros. We said hello. Any update on the giveaway? Meek, yeah, so I've reached out like 3 or 4 times. What happened is that your first giveaway was lost in the mail somehow. I don't know how it was. Second one was sent out. I have asked for a shipping information for the last couple days. I haven't gotten anything. The second you get something, I promise I will send it over. I don't know what is going on. It's like your package is like the one package they haven't been able to send out, and I can't understand why. So I keep badgering them, and I'll get to the bottom of it, I promise. Spring training is right around the corner. Yeah, it's getting there. Slowly but surely, I know, man. I'm sorry. If there was something I could do, I'd do it. I promise I'm trying everything. WBC injuries right around the corner? Nah, dude. We'll be fine. There wasn't really too many injuries last WBC. I mean, obviously Edwin Diaz was a big one, but outside of that, there wasn't like any other like crazy show-stopping injuries. Okay, so there isn't really much news to go over. I'll be honest. I was kind of hoping that we'd get to this live stream and we'd have a whole bunch to talk about. Like maybe the dam would break. It has been deathly quiet. I mean, we do have this Ketel Marte stuff that we are going to talk about tonight and in tomorrow's video. So we've got that we're going to have a conversation about. But like the biggest news. The biggest news we've got right now is that Marcelo Meyer's turning in number 11. He's taking over Rafael Devers' number, which is awesome because I have an 11 jersey that I haven't been able to wear. So, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? Okay, let me see here. I saw Section 10 ask this question, wanted to get your opinion on it. Can you rank these 4 dudes and who you'd want to have for the next 5 years? Why is Duran in there? Well, I don't understand why Duran are in there. Like to me, I like Duran's already here, right? So I well, I guess Duran only has 3 years left of his deal, so the idea is extend Duran for 5 years. And that would be either Duran, Marte, Bregman, Bichette. Rank it in 1 through 4 for the next 5 seasons. So I'm going to go off a couple of things here, Max. There's a couple of things I want to do, right? Obviously, its biggest impact on the team is probably number 1 here. But 2 would also be positionality over the next 5 years. And then 3 would be how gracefully they'd age over the next 5 years. This is tough, dude, because I feel like whatever I'm going to say is going to be controversial. 5 years. So it'd be Duran until he was 32. Marte until he was 36, 37. Bregman's till he's 37. Bichette until he's 30, 33. So to me, just in terms of like how easily, you can, and people hate when I say this, but how easily, or how so if you lose Duran, right, you've got other options already in the organization that are going to be able to take over that spot, right? You've got Roman Anthony, you've got Willie Abreu. So to me, having Duran here for 5 years isn't as big of a necessity. And I know that's a crazy thing to say as a third baseman where like Franklin Arias is a great defender. He's not a third baseman, right? Trevor Story's not going to be able to move over there at third base. Meyer could play third base, but he's been healthy for a full season in his career. To me, infield feels like it's a higher priority. From that list, it'd probably be Bregman, Bichette, Marte, Duran, just in terms of what it would cost to get him here too. I think. Yeah, I think that's where I would land on that. What did Section 10 say? $5 super chat from Snowman. Thank you so much, Snowman. Can we get some likes on that? Thank you so much. He said, good evening, Corbin. Good evening. What are the Red Sox doing with Christian Campbell? They're paying him a lot of money to not play him. Well, right now the overwhelming theory, based on what they've told us in terms of how they played him this offseason, would probably be as an outfielder. In terms of him getting paid a lot of money, it's really not a lot of money until 2031. He's making $2.2 million this year. You know what I mean? So it's not like a crazy amount. Obviously with the luxury tax threshold, it's $7.5 million, but just on a year-to-year basis, it's $2.5 million or $2.2 million. So it's not like a crazy amount, but yeah, my guess is he's going to be mostly a fourth outfielder for the time being. We'll see kind of how that ends up playing out. I think their ultimate goal is to be able to utilize him and have him take over something, right? Whether that is, first base in the future, whether that's an outfield spot in the future, whether that just simply becomes being the everyday utility guy. Do I think they will still move Duran or Yoshida? I think it's more likely Yoshida than Duran right now. I mean, we talked about it in, what was that, two videos ago, where we talked about sort of Jeff Passan's outlook on where Jarren Duran is right now. It's sort of hey, the Red Sox are here. The rest of the league is kind of down here, right? And in order to trade Duran, teams are going to have to come up here because it doesn't sound like the Red Sox are going to go down here. So I think that's I think it's solid to assume that as of right now, unless somebody gets desperate, which is always possible, right? We talked about the Kansas City Royals wanting to compete this year, the Cincinnati Reds wanting to compete this year. They have young pitching that they should be open to and willing to move off from, and don't really have a ton of availability to spend in the free agent market right now. Maybe one of those teams gets desperate enough to offer it. But again, if I'm the Red Sox, I'm staying here and I'm sitting here, right? Because you don't have to move him. So in my opinion, Yoshida, I think the Red Sox are going to sit there with Yoshida, and at some point this offseason, they're going to say, look, we'll eat 2/3 of this contract. Just move him out. And it's not because I don't think Yoshida can be a good player. I actually still think he can be a good player. I think it's just simply because you sit there with the roster fit right now, with Contreras getting older, with the fact that you got Story at 33, with the fact that you're probably going to have, hopefully, right, a Bregman or even a Bichette over there who's not a great defender, right? To be able to move these guys around with 4 outfielders would be unbelievably massive for this team. So, I sit there with this, and to me, it feels like masa. Thanks so much for watching, Armando. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Anthony Rendon is available. Guy's been raking. True. Let's go pick up that guy. If you want something to talk about, look at Fangraphs pitching depth. Our AAA is stacked. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. Can we have a moment of silence for F. Snyder? True. R.I.P. Hey, dude. What's up, CH? Got here late. You're about 6 minutes late, so I wouldn't really say you're late. Think we pull a sneaky Imai move? I think the only way that happens is if, one, the Red Sox are able to trade one of their starters, right? We talked about Patrick Sandoval today and how I think he could be sneaky impactful for the Red Sox this year. If they are able to move his contract and sign Imai to like a prove-it deal, where it's like a 2 or 3 year contract, escalators, deferrals, whatever it may end up being, that sort of limits the year-to-year luxury tax threshold on him, I think then maybe yes. Outside of that, probably not. It just doesn't make a ton of sense in terms of where the Red Sox are at cash-wise right now, especially if they want to stay under that second luxury tax. Corbin, when should we expect moves to pick up again? I think your answer is probably, the easy answer is it's going to have to be sometime between now and the 2nd, right? Ime has to sign a deal with a major league team before January 2nd. Okamoto has to sign before January 4th. And a lot of these deals get done beforehand because they want to make sure that physicals and everything check out before the deadline hits and you can't sign them anymore. So the easy answer is those two guys. My overall answer in terms of, the players that we've been looking at in terms of Bichette, Bregman, I think Kyle Tucker could sit here and wait this out as long as he wants. Like, I think he's going to end up getting paid, but I think he could sit there for as long as he needs to. I don't think anyone's really rushing the Kyle Tucker markets. I do think at at some point here, Bregman's going to get a little bit antsy. I think the Red Sox going to get a little bit antsy, right? I think we're going to sit here, and I would guess by mid-January, we're going to start to see a lot more movement here. Maybe Durant can play the infield. I'm so sick of seeing that take. No. Are the Red Sox better or worse than the Yankees if the season started today, right now? So here's the thing. I can't sit here and say you're better than the Yankees, right? I think on paper they have a more experienced, if you're just basing it off of what they've done in the past, a better team, right? But the Red Sox are also younger with a lot higher ceilings in terms of the younger guys. So, you know what I mean? I really want Bichette. I'd like Bichette too. Corby, you think we end up with either Bregman or Bichette? That's the idea. What's the rotation at right now? So right now, as it sits on paper, I'd imagine it's probably Crochet, Gray, Bayo, Oviedo, and early right now. I would say early. I think it depends on how early and Totally look coming into spring training, but I'd imagine that's what it is. Costas looks good in the cage. You think he'll have a surprisingly big impact on the 2026 Red Sox? Yeah, I think anything people have totally given up on Tristan Costas, so I think anything he gives anybody is going to be is going to be a surprise. I still don't think he's ready for opening day, but yeah, I think he's going to impact the Sox this year for sure. Bichette's not a good defender. Adding him to a sloppy infield defense, not ideal. That is true, but also at the same time, that was all at shortstop. What's that going to look like at second base? Because he's not going to sign as a shortstop. It's not looking like it. I don't know how true it is, but allegedly Breslow spoke with Heim. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not really putting too much stock into it. Do you see the wind-up prediction for the next 5 World Series? They think the Sox will be competing every year if they sign Bregman. Yeah, I've been saying this the entire time here. I've been saying it the entire time. You sign Bregman, you're a sneaky World Series contender. What's your sneaky good team prediction for 2026? The Reds, I think, are going to be really good. Not to be a smartass, but what I've been saying to you about Costas for like 3 seasons after you promised me he'd finish the season where we're at now. He's just an extra bum on the bench. See, this is exactly my point on Tristan Casas. Did Craig become Dombrowski by destroying our farm system? No. Here's the worst take someone can have right now is, one, the Red Sox did not have the number 1 farm system. Oh, in February, sure. But you also have to remember, Mighty Boston, it's not because Craig Breslow's out here wheeling and dealing the entirety of the top of the Red Sox prospect list. It's because you had 3 generational prospects. I mean, the last time the Red Sox had a consensus number 1 prospect in their system was what? Who? Right? Benintendi, maybe? But Benintendi was never like the number 1 guy. It's been a very long time since there's been a consensus number 1 prospect in the Red Sox system. Then you add in Marcelo Meyer and Christian Campbell. All 3 of these guys have graduated from the Red Sox prospect list. Of course, it's going to take a hit, right? And I hate it's like people are finding reasons to hate on Craig Breslow right now. The reason we cared so much about prospect pipelines was, one, you had, again, 3 generational superstars in terms of prospects, right? We'll see what they turn out in the big league level, but in terms of prospects, they were literally generational. That happens very, very rarely. That you have 3 guys in, what was it, the top 15, top 20 last season, right? But on top of that, the reason we cared so much was because they were rebuilding, right? They were trying to build towards the future. Now that the future is here and playing, 1, obviously you're going to see that hit, but 2, the ranking you have of a prospect pipeline doesn't matter as much, right? The Toronto Blue Jays have one of the worst overall prospect pipelines in baseball right now. They were just in the World Series, right? You think Blue Jays fans are sitting there saying, but you're the 28th best farm system in the sport. No, they're saying spend the goddamn money, get us back into that World Series. I want to win this time, right? So there's such a stark difference. It really depends on where you're at in terms of your organizational future. But right now, I like being concerned about prospect rankings. To me, feels a bit arbitrary. You should do a deep dive into my opinion, the real story about how the Sox ownership are leaders of baseball economic. Oh yeah, I already saw that. How much better do you think Gray is compared to Buehler? Loads better. Could Houck have an impact? No, brother. He had Tommy John, or he had Tommy John, I think. I can't remember what it was, but he's not going to be playing at all this year. I'm worried the Red Sox front office will panic and make a flurry of questionable moves. We are 1 month from baseball. But what would be the questionable moves in your opinion? Why do people think Bichette would be a good second baseman? Never played the position before. He's a shortstop. He played a bit in minor league baseball. He also played second base during the World Series, so he does have some ability there. Yeah, Oviedo I think is underrated for sure. Yeah, I agree, Austin. What's up, Mike? What's your rotation ranking against the league after all the moves? I'd put him top 10 easily. My debate right now is whether to put him top 5, right? Because I think the Dodgers are probably better than you on paper. I think the Mariners are definitively better than you on paper. Yankees probably. Depends on how Cole looks, right? But, I mean, Schiller looked fantastic last year. Fried, Rodon. They're getting older, but they're really good. Luis Seal. Blue Jays maybe, right? I think a lot has to go right for them to be significantly better than the Red Sox. Detroit, no, not Detroit. Yeah, I think I'd put it 5 at least. Should the Red Sox pick up Mackenzie Gore? Depends. Like, it depends on what you have to give up. I think the Red Sox are done. Phillies, yeah, I put Phillies. That was the team I forgot. So, yeah, Phillies I think I'd put above them. Yeah. It depends. It depends with it really does with Mackenzie Gore's. Red Sox arguably third best in the AL East when factoring how yeah, the Blue Jays do have some strong starting pitchers, but you can make the argument that you're making with the Red Sox right now, where it's like age and like unprovenness, right? You can make that argument. I don't think I don't think anyone in their pitching staff was like phenomenal this year, right? So you're just assuming that they're going to be better this year. How was Kevin Gausman this year? I thought he had a little bit of a I mean, it was still 3.59, right? In 32 starts, so he was really good. What about Barrios? Yeah, Barrios had a 4.17 ERA. We're assuming that like Barrios is going to be a sub 4 ERA pitcher. I like maybe, right? Trey Savage doesn't have a full season in Major League Baseball right now, right? Like you're making the assumption these guys are going to be better and the Yankees or the Red Sox are going to be worse. I don't know that that's exactly the true thing here. When is Fenway Fest? What up, Robbie? How you doing, man? Hey, Robbie, did you get your account back? God, when is Fenway Fest? The 17th? Right now, the Red Sox are probably 4th in the AL East. I don't know how you sit here. Yeah, we will do WBC stream, by the way. I don't know how you sit here and say the Red Sox are definitively worse than the Orioles right now. I just don't see it. Like, Zach Eflin doesn't to me make the Orioles better. Shane Baz is solid. He's never really put it together at the major league level enough. You can't sit here and say that the Orioles are definitively better than the Red Sox. You can't do it. As it stands right now. Fenway Fest would be great for a 10-year-old. Someone asked that. Fenway Fest would be great. Ward and Alonso alone make them better than us? I don't think so, dude. To the front office thoughts. Brother, everyone in baseball has been doing that for years now. It's nothing special. What do I think about the Red Sox lineup? I think it's solid. I just don't think it's fully there yet. That's 80 bombs. Yeah, but Xavier, you got to remember they're right-handed hitters playing in 80 games in Orioles, like Camden Yards. Right? Like their numbers are going to dip a little bit. Yeah, it's not, I don't know that it's 40 home runs and both of them are going to hit 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. Any thoughts on Okamoto for third base, less money? You signed Contreras. I don't think it makes a ton of sense to sign Okamoto. As it stands right now, I think we can still compete for a postseason spot. Yeah, I agree. I'm 90%. Where do you live, Mexican? Like, are you gonna so I buy tickets really late because I could just Uber into Fenway. So I'm not the best to ask when it comes to ticket ideas. Why is nobody signed Ranger Suarez? I think it's because he's a little bit older. I think he wants a longer term deal. If Emi signs with us, what do I think the contract looks like? Like, it won't be a long. I don't think it'll be a long deal, unless the Red Sox find a way to figure out how to like sign him starting at a cheap cheap AAV and moving into a more expensive one as he gets older. Might be the way to do it, but I don't think the Red Sox are going to be interested in signing him on a longer term deal. Will the results of the 2026 season or offseason determine the future of Craig Breslow? You didn't answer that. You didn't add in either of those, so I don't have an answer for you. Sox need to add a bullpen piece. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think a bullpen piece would be solid. Contreras is the most underrated player in MLB currently. Maybe not the most, but yeah, people. You know why people are underrating him? Because he's not Pete Alonso. Because he's not Ketel Marte or whatever it may end up being. He's not a big superstar caliber name with a fat contract attached to him. So people automatically go, I don't know. I think he's bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, you look at the numbers, and it's hard to say that Contreras isn't a great addition to the Red Sox. I'd be worried we would trade Duran for a bag of peanuts. Why? You just want Justin Wilson back? Yeah, I'd be happy with Justin Wilson back. I think that actually would be really good for this bullpen. What's the plan for Yoshida? I think, dude, honestly, right now, left-handed platoon, right? Like, what do you do with them? That's the question, right? It's a great question because you can't play him too much in the outfield. You already have 4 outfielders, 5 if you count Christian Campbell in there, 6 if you want to count Nate Eaton in there, right? So now you have 6 options for the outfield and nowhere to put Yoshida. So he's going to be mostly DH, I'd imagine. What do I think the big move for the Red Sox will be this offseason? It's probably bringing back Bregman. I still think Bregman comes back, hopefully. Would I be mad if it was paired with Marte or Bichette? Yeah, dude. I would rather have Marcelo Meyer play third base than Eugenio Suarez. I do not think. I just don't think that Suarez would be a good addition to this team. He would quite literally, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, he only hits home runs, right? This dude either hits a home run or he strikes out. I just don't see, I get it. You add the home run power, you look a little bit better in terms of your power approach at the plate, but that's about it. He's not a number 3 bat. He's not a number 4 bat. He's a number 5 and number 6 bat. And he's getting older and he plays terrible defense. Literally all he would do for you would be hit home runs. That's it. Would I trade Bayo, Casas, Campbell, and Yoshida for Nick Kurtz? Yeah, maybe. Honestly, that dude's going to be a monster. How many years of Bregman? I'd give Bregman 5 years and wouldn't even think twice about it. Honestly, I'll be fine if we just re-sign Bregman. Yeah, I think it'd be a solid offseason. Xavier, Bregman was never looking to get a higher AAV. This is such a misconception with Bregman. Like, everyone's like, he's not worth $40 million. He's not going to get paid $40 million a year. Oh, he opted out to get more money. No. He didn't opt out to get more AAV. This dude opted out so he could get more years, so he could finish out his career with one team. Right? That was always the conversation he had. That was back in, when did he first get injured, right? When they were first talking about extensions with Alex Bregman, that was the thing he said. He wanted more guaranteed years. He didn't really care about the dollars per year, the AAV. He wanted more years. Opening day, who's my second baseman? Very easily Marcel Meyer. Comfortably Marcel Meyer. Because you've got Romy Gonzalez and Nick Sogar on the bench, too. Dylan, thank you so much for becoming a member of the standing room. My man. What are any teams waiting for? Boris. True. Bregman was hurt last year and faded in the postseason. Why would that deserve a monster deal? I don't know about faded in the postseason. I mean, to be fair, you only played 3 games, so it's tough to sit here and be like, he was all around terrible. You got a 3-game sample size, but let me just take a peek here. shall we? This postseason, Alex Bregman hits 300 with an 862 OPS. Where's the fading? Where's the fading? Where's the fading? How much leverage does Boris have over the Sox right now for a deal? I'd imagine a pretty fair amount, actually. Meyer is a high ceiling if he could stay healthy. Yeah. Yeah. He's supposed to hit 500. True. If Alex Bregman doesn't come back, should the Red Sox sign Ketel Marte? They can't sign him. They'd have to trade for him. Or Bo Bichette. It would have to be Bo Bichette. It'd have to be. Guy joined the club before I moved from Boston to Houston. Hey man, enjoy Houston. I heard it's kind of beautiful. Love the Sandoval video. Thank you. Yeah, I you know what? We've been having such a weird string of news for the Red Sox. So I just switched it up and did sort of a think piece. What do I think of Justin Gonzalez after his first season of minors? Dude looks like an absolute unit, doesn't he? Like, that's a guy a lot of people have pegged for, hey, pay attention to Justin Gonzalez this season, man. Yeah, he's definitely an interesting one. What makes me more interested is whether or not they're going to play him at first base. Like, he's playing the outfield right now, but the long-term conversation is, hey, what if we get this guy into first base? And if you can get him and become a first base prospect, geez, you know what I mean? Yeah, Damien, we are definitely going to figure it out at some point. We're going to figure it out at some point for sure. Welcome back. What are we waiting for? A new owner, perhaps? Maybe. If Bregman doesn't re-sign, I will riot. True. Conrad Kaysen is a pitcher hitter. Yeah, I'm very interested to see. Very interested to see what Conrad Kaysen looks like this year. And the Red Sox are banking on these young guys to be complete studs, given how quiet this offseason has been. Yes and no, right? I think rightfully, like sitting here and being like, oh, we're expecting Marcelo, or we're expecting Roman Anthony to be a dud going forward, right? Would be kind of a dumb thing for the Red Sox to do. But I also think you sit there with this and it's like the whole goal of having these young players on your team is to develop and ultimately take over the mantle of being the Boston Red Sox, right? Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and potentially Christian Campbell down the road, but guys like, say, Don Rafael, right? Those are supposed to be your core for the next 7-10 years, whatever it may end up being. So the goal is to get him to that point. Right now, you also need to supplement that with experienced veteran impact players. Wilson Contreras is a prime example of this, where he's not a long-term deal, so he's not the centerpiece of this team for the next 10 years. Roman still is, but while he's here, he's not only going to mentor Roman, he's going to help ease the burden of being that number one guy, right? So it's finding a balance between the two. It's not banking on one or the other. It's having both. That's what makes good teams great. Right? That's the difference. It's having these veteran experienced guys who can lead the way, but really it's these young kids who propel them to the next level. It's how a lot of these sort of key Red Sox teams were built. I think 2004 is probably a big exception to that, but 2007 you had a lot of young players on that team. 2013, yeah, I'd say mostly it was veterans, right? I think that was sort of the whole thing. 2018 was obviously all young players too. Let you know that I love Marcelo Meyer. Yeah, I do love Marcelo Meyer. Do I think Contreras hits more home runs at Fenway this year? I don't know. Yeah, that is true, Brent. That is true. Actually, I think the specific stat, Brent, was Masataka Yoshida with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. They scored like 70% of the time or something. Campbell's career arc, in your opinion? I genuinely have no idea. You'll regret anything with Bregman after 2 or 3 years? I really don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. We should re-sign Alex Bregman and pick up Bo Bichette? That's not possible, Jacob. It's one or the other. I get the Sox haven't spent money this offseason. People are acting like they didn't get a lot better. Yeah, I think the big thing is they haven't signed anybody, right? They haven't made that sort of like, holy crap headline news that you know, not that we were promised, but it sort of felt like we were going to get at some point this offseason. And that's why it feels like, especially with the ages of the guys that you brought in, that's why it feels like the Red Sox have done less than they actually have, right? Because I think for me, and I'll talk on my personal opinion and not so much the Red Sox fan base, because I think mine's a little bit different here. I'm not upset with anything the Red Sox have done in terms of bringing in this offseason, right? I really liked the Sonny Gray trade when it happened. You know, I still think he's not a true number 2 pitcher. I think he's more of a number 3 pitcher. Apparently, I lost that bet. We'll see how that the rest of the offseason plays out. I love the Wilson Contreras move. My issues with them is that it's still not a long-term commitment, right? It's not a, hey, this is a guy that you could buy a jersey of and feel comfortable with for the next half decade. It's just not, right? Gray is on a 1-year deal, and he's 36 years old, so he's probably not coming back next season. Wilson Contreras is on a 2-year deal with a club option for 3, but he's 34 years old, 33 years old, right? So neither of these guys are true, like, hey, we're changing the tune of the Red Sox for the next half decade. These guys are, hey, and like I just talked about, great supplemental pieces to build up those guys from within. Now, if you keep extending, you know, maybe let's say Conley Early has a good half year and bang, you sign him for 8 seasons or Tolley or whatever, right? And all of a sudden you've got a nice core for the next 8 years of Roman, Crochet, Cedon, Early / Tolley, whoever. Then I'm all right with you continue adding these veterans, but you have to be able to continue to do what you're doing in terms of your extension. But I think a lot of people sit there with the additions they made, and it's just not this long-term commitment we were hoping for, and that's why you get angry. At least that's what my perspective is, right? The story of another opt-out after the season? No. According to F4, the Red Sox gained the most value in the MLB this offseason. Makes sense. I mean, there haven't been a ton of crazy moves this offseason. The money they saved from Devers feels like a buried treasure at this point. I think the argument is you trade Devers and then pretty quickly extended Roman Anthony, and that's where the money went. I don't disagree, but I think that's their argument. I have nothing against giving Bregman a long-term contract. The guy's a baller. Yeah, I agree. Just buy a Crochet jersey. True, you can do that. Happy New Year, Snowman. Thanks for being here. Per your sources, is this the same guy last time? You don't pay anyone that kind of money unless they're a beast on the field. What? Who? Moose Nation? I don't even know what that is. I feel like we are all sleeping on that Oviedo trade. Dude's an absolute unit. I think the Red Sox could do some fun things with him. We'll see kind of how that works out. But an average player, Bregman wasn't an average player. I don't know where that conversation came from, but he was an average player. What do you think the Red Sox offer to Bregman currently is? Not what it will be, but where do you feel like they're at? I think the Red Sox offer with Bregman is somewhere in the 4-year range, 3 years with an opt-out, something like that. I think Pepin blocked me. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I don't see anything from him. That guy. Corbin, Red Sox like pitchers over 6'2". Moose me. I get it now. See, I'm like, you guys are commenting things about what I'm talking about, and then I'm focusing on the comment that I'm talking about, and then we just sort of go back and forth here. I actually got a Crochet jersey for Christmas. Let's go. That's huge. Is Frey Peralta still on the market? Dude, if he hasn't been traded yet, I kind of doubt it. But the Brewers aren't going to extend this guy. They know that. So, like, do it. You know what I mean? Did you like Oviedo's last 7 starts this season? You have time to go back and watch those starts. I like where he's headed. So I've watched a bit on his fastball specifically because that's what everyone was pointing out. It's nice, dude. The movement's great. The extension's really solid on it. Personally, you look at those starts, and a lot of it is control issues, right? It's not so much control, it's command issues, I would say. And the Red Sox have done a really great job recently of helping a lot with a lot of pitchers and their command issues. So if they could do that to Oviedo, he's going to be a solid pitcher. Do I think Suarez would be a good replacement for Ref Snyder type role on the team? Nah. I just don't think he would be. Contreras had a better 2025 than Vlad Guerrero. Yeah, I like Contreras. I do. This team will only sign absolute superstars who take massive discounts like Crochet. Brother, Crochet wasn't a signing, he was a trade. What's up, Chris? Patrick, thank you for subscribing to the channel, my friend. Got a yellow City Connect Roman Anthony jersey? Hell yeah, that is awesome, Tom. If you give Romy Gonzalez those Bregman at-bats, you get the same production. Crochet does have performance incentives, though. No? Yeah, he's got a bunch. I think he could get up to like 30, 35 million a year. I'm confused why Alex Bregman's a priority over Bo Bichette. Bichette is much younger, has a better baseball savant page. His defense and leadership aren't as good. If you want to get specific here, Red Sox, Ryan, his defense is way worse than Alex Bregman's. And there have been some, like there 2 years ago, it was like Bichette was having some issues in terms of leadership. So those are kind of big points to make. You know what I mean? Do you think Cedon home run total will be in 26? What was his home run total in 25? He had 16 home runs in 156 games in 24. Wait, no, in 25. Sorry, his age was 24. Do I think he gets better than that? Yeah, I could see him getting close to 20. I don't think that's crazy to say. I could see him getting close to 20. Sign Okamoto for 4 years, plays third. Yeah, but like, I'm not doing that. I'm not trading or signing Okamoto, giving up Bregman or Bichette just for Okamoto. I'm not doing that. Red Sox pick up Frey Peralta as their number 2 star this offseason. That'd be insane. Looking forward to seeing what Roman does this season. Yeah, he's going to be a dog. The reason Bregman is so important to these young guys isn't just leadership and on field. It's they will know even if they do absolutely everything right, the Red Sox don't care and won't give. Kind of, but also you sit there and, Roman Anthony just paid a crap ton of money. Crochet just got paid a crap ton of money. I don't know that that's true. At any point, my point is, had he not taken that massive discount and hit the free agent market, we got, yeah, but that you could say that about literally every player extended ever, Graham. Literally every single one. So much better than Bregman or Bichette, better contract as well. Donovan is not a better fit than Bregman or Bichette. That's crazy. You can't sit here and tell me Bregman's a mediocre bat and then make the argument that Donovan's a better one, especially from the left-hand side. If there's been no interest in the Japanese players, do you think the Red Sox take a shot at either one? Unless it's like a crazy good deal. I don't think so. $30 million a year for being a great teammate is crazy. Who's getting paid just to be a good teammate? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, people are taking, hey, he's a good teammate, this is a positive, to we're only paying him to be a coach. No. Bregman's still a very good player. Somehow he's become underrated in this fan base. Cedon before 2025, probably real. What's up, Dinah? Do I think the Red Sox will take a shot? Yeah. No, I don't think so. $2 super chat from Graham. Thank you a lot, Graham. I appreciate you, even though we disagree a lot. True. I love the content. Thanks, man. I appreciate you being here. Get some likes on that message, man. I appreciate it. Not totally wrong, Xavier. We saw, we're going to talk about this in detail tomorrow for tomorrow's video, unless something crazy happens. Dinah, thank you so much for becoming a 15 months, man. And favorite food? All right. Now we have to have a serious conversation. My favorite food of all time. There are some contenders. There's some real pizza, way up there. Chicken wings, way up there. Sushi, way up there. Wild card, Rubens, way up there. Fish and chips, way up there. Really any sort of pasta with sauce, like homemade pasta, you know what I'm talking about? Like the good, like you go to an Italian place. Oh. One cat. Well, yeah, if I name a specific, all right, do I have to name a specific food? Nah, Rubens aren't overrated. You just gotta have the right one. Because they didn't want to pay him, Jake. My God. Come on, people. Favorite food ever? Dude, this is tough. This is tough. I don't know, dude. I genuinely don't know. Like the only, like if I can only choose one, okay, I'll tell you exactly what it would be. It'd be my fiance's dad's prime rib. That's what it would be. If I had to pick one. If I had to pick one, that would be it. I always think about this. What would be my last? Okay, so now people are asking death row meals. So the problem with the death row meal is I would order just about everything, right? Because what's gonna happen? I'll take a bite of like 5 things and I'm dead. Who cares? You know what I mean? So it'd be a giant order. It would quite literally. It'd probably be a large, like thin crust cheese pizza, just a classic cheese pizza. It would be as many buffalo chicken wings, not breaded chicken wings that I could find with blue cheese. It would be a pumpkin pie and a key lime pie. It'd be I'd get a Reuben. So this is what I'm talking about. Why would I sit here? You know what I mean? Like I could just keep going. Why do people discount batting average and home runs and RBI? Go with this Billy Bean metric, OPS, weighted runs created plus, SMH. So Jake, do you understand? Like, first and foremost, I need to make sure that you understand what OPS is. Right? I need you to make sure that you understand what it is. But also, no one's discounting batting average. Yeah, no one's sitting here discounting it. Home runs and RBIs, you're sitting there making that argument. He only played 113 games. Let's make that an average. What would it look like over 150 games here, Jake? What would it look like? And you haven't mentioned anything about defense at all, right? So you need to have a conversation about that. Right. There's a difference. There's a difference between you sitting there saying that he's an average player and only looking at 2 stats being like, why doesn't anyone pay attention to these stats? It's like, well, because you're cherry picking stats you think are average and ignoring every other stat and saying, guys need to stop paying attention to those. That's the problem, right? You can't have an argument and ignore all of this evidence because it doesn't make your point. That's the problem. How much of the Red Sox link to so-and-so player articles do you actually listen to? I started just tuning it out as noise till something happens. Well, my job is to pay attention to all of them. So all of them, right? But at the same time, too, I've come to the point in the offseason, I think a lot of people should do this too, even at the beginning of the offseason where you should only trust a certain few amount of people. And when those people are reporting something, then maybe we have a conversation about it. But unless they are, I usually don't. And I have a select few that I do. Except for JBJ, he did not need batting average. True. What do I think is the best stat to look at a hitter? Batting average, OPS, WAR, per example. You want my personal opinion? I'm looking at a Baseball Savant page or a baseball reference page here, right? To me, the most telling stat of a player overall in terms of their impact at the plate would probably be OPS, right? Because you get the on base percentage, how often they are reaching at least first base, which is obviously important, right? If you're going to reach first base, 36 or whatever percent of the time, you're on base 1 out of every 3 at bats, right? And so I think that's important. Then it adds in slug, and I think slug tells you how impactful those ABs actually are, right? If you're a guy who's just walking or hitting singles every single at bats, there's still value in that, but we can't call you a top hitter in baseball, right? Because there's guys doing everything else. It tells you how impactful those hits actually are. Are they doubles? Are they singles mostly? Are you a guy who's going to hit a bunch of home runs, but you're not going to do anything else, right? And I think by combining those two, you're taking a pretty full picture into what a baseball player's overall impact at the plate actually is. And again, the real answer that you're looking for, in my opinion, is you got to look at everything, right? Because every player is different. To put them all in the same bubble doesn't make a ton of sense. Luis Arraez has made a living off of being a high contact, low home run guy, where a guy like Kyle Schwarber, who's one of the most touted free agents, of this offseason, has made a lot of money being a low contact, high power type guy. And I think that's just sort of how the game is evolved, right? And it's just sort of how you're looking at, what different players can bring to the market. Mike with a $5 super chat. Sorry, Mike, I was in the middle of a rant there. Thank you so much. Don't forget about runs created and batting average for balls in play. Too much analysis is death by statistics. Too little cherry picking. Yeah, sure. I think you make the argument there's a lot of cherry picking going on for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, there's a bunch of statistics you can look at. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Jake. Is this thing on? Jake, I know you've been here the entire time. He is not going to be making more average every year than he is making the last season. No one's sitting here saying pay him more than $40 million. No one's saying that. Are you not replying to my comic? I'm letting you know that I don't want Bayo and Crochet trade because they have my jerseys in your closet. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Happy New Year, Kenneth. Thanks for being here, man. Sometimes the numbers aren't as key as the opponent that they were delivered to. Maybe. Corbin, am I surprised the Yankees have barely done anything else? Nah, I said this coming to the offseason. There weren't any truly obvious choices for the Yankees, in terms of bigger players, 1. And 2, they've got a ton of aging contracts. How many of those guys can they afford? You know what I mean? And we kicked Devers to accommodate this guy, and we signed, I guess. How many Red Sox games will Corbin go to in 2020? Under over? I put the under over at 10. I really don't go as much as I should. Maybe Bregman wants gold instead of Fiat, like the car. Am I missing a reference there? I'd love to see Stanton on third team for S&Gs. Yeah, that'd be funny. I like the Alex Bregman scenario with the Ray Allen Celtics free agency. Bregman wants extra years just like Allen. Celtics wouldn't offer the years, so he went to Miami. Maybe. Yeah, the Devers conversation is a separate thing, I think. That was just a debacle in and of itself. Should we trade for Giants first baseman? Guys, you ever heard of this guy, Rafael Devers? The Giants probably won't do super well this year. I wonder what they'd be willing to give up. Listen, for Rafael Devers, I don't know, guys. This might be a hot take, but I'd be willing to give him Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, and re-sign Dustin May to send to him. I listen, just a thought. Is the lull in any action just due to the Christmas New Year's period? Kind of. kind of. I think that's part of it for sure. I don't know that it's the entirety of why it slowed down. I think a lot of it is we've sort of reached the point in the offseason where you're either a big guy who's fine waiting to sign it because you know you're going to get what you want at the end of the day, or you're a smaller guy waiting for those guys to sign and other teams to get desperate, right? And this happened last year too with a lot of guys, right? Not a lot of players. Did any players sign before? Like big players sign before Juan Soto? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was sort of the dam breaking, and then Max Fried was sort of the dam breaking on the pitching side of things, right? It felt like, maybe Alonso or Schwarber would be that, but I think kind of Bregman and Bichette and Tucker to some degree as well were in different kind of categories than those guys. So I don't know. I find it hard to believe the reports the Red Sox quietly shopping Bayo are even true. He would have been on a plane by now. Hell, I feel like that were the case, Marte would be in Boston. Kind of Owen, because the other thing you guys have to remember is teams need to want Bayo back, right? And Bayo's a great, like I would trade for Bayo, but that doesn't mean that the Arizona Diamondbacks were sitting there saying, okay, yeah, Bayo, Franklin Arias, and Jarren Duran for Marte, right? I don't think that would have gotten it done. We got fleece for Tibbs? Yeah, sure did. We could say that we want, but Devers raked at the end of the season like he raked. Yeah, he looked good. Or maybe because Devers a mentor. Yeah. What even is Kyle Harrison's role this year? I'd imagine probably out of the bullpen. I mean, he still has options, right? So you keep him in AAA until you need him. Marquez from Colorado? Nah, I'm good. If the reports of Bregman giving a discount are true, I'm going to be pissed. I said this in my video talking about it. I don't know if you guys if you haven't seen that video, I broke that whole thing down, Fernando. I just like, if he was going to give him a discount, why hasn't he already signed with them yet? Why is he still sitting? Because the only reason you sit and you wait this long is to bring up your value. And so if you're not trying to do that, why not just sign? You don't pay $3 million to tuck rookies in a night because that it was a. Oh, I thought you were talking about Bregman. Bregman is not going anywhere near $300 million. Any thoughts on a Cole Reagan trade? Yeah, yes, trade for him. Right? Yeah, trade for that guy. Sure. You know what I mean? I just again, with the Red Sox being here with Duran and Passan being like, no, like teams aren't willing to do that. I just don't see the Red Sox get Cole Reagans without having to give up something legitimately, like something that they don't want to trade in return, right? Either, early, totally. Personally, I would absolutely do like Duran. I would genuinely do Duran early for and throw in Arias for gut the system for Cole Reagans, dude. I'd love that. He would be my number one guy for sure. I just don't think the Royals think Jarren Duran is worth it, man. I just don't. I feel like every team would want Bale for a good price. I don't disagree, Owen, but the problem is the Red Sox also have to agree on said price, right? And we've heard this offseason multiple times that the Red Sox have been here with a lot of their guys and a lot of other teams have been down here, and the Red Sox have been unwilling to meet them in the middle, which is fair considering that these are guys that are important to your 26-man roster, but give it up. Oh, brother, I would do a sexy dance to get Cole Reagans on this Red Sox team. I'd do whatever it takes. Who do you replace Bayo with if he's traded? That's the other question, right? That's the other question. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. My thing was, if you were going to trade Bayo, it would always have been boom, boom, right? It would have been Bayo traded, Red Sox trade for a pitcher, or even Bayo for a pitcher, right? Are you willing to take a chance that Freddie Peralta can be extended before he gets to free agency? Bayo for Peralta could make some sense, right? But I don't know how that happens. What's up, Michael? First time? Hey, welcome him. I hate how these guys wait so long. If they sign them, the team can move on and continue building before other pieces are off the table. Well, there are a couple answers as to why the Red Sox, or why Major League free agents wait so long. One, there's no limitation how long they can wait, right? The MLB hasn't placed any sort of free agent signing period on them. Two, the longer they wait, like you said, other pieces come off the board, right? More desperate teams get. Let's say, the Blue Jays right now are going all in on Kyle Tucker, right? And Bichette's market is the Red Sox, and it's, I don't know. Maybe the Tigers are poking around at it. I don't know, right? That was just a random team thrown out there. But hey, the Dodgers end up signing Kyle Tucker, and the Blue Jays all of a sudden turn to Bichette and be like, hey, baby, we're sorry. Come on home. You know what I mean? That's an extra layer added that can now push. Hey, Red Sox, just to let you know, the Blue Jays missed out on Kyle Tucker. They're looking real heavily into Bo Bichette. And the Red Sox are like, oh crap, let's offer $50 more million. It's easy. Royal needs to drop the nonchalant act with Duran. We all know they want to get both. The deal would be great for both parts. Agreed. Someone needs to wake up Breslow. Someone needs to wake up all of Major League Baseball, I think. Bottom line, Sox need one more top-line starting pitcher, get it done. Yeah, maybe. I'm curious to know when you think Bregman and Bichette will sign by. I think they are signed by mid-January. I do. I think both of them come to some sort of conclusion by mid-January. So if they go out and get Kyle Tucker, imagine the Red Sox sign Kyle Tucker. I don't even know what I would do, dude. Then you have to trade Jarren Duran. Why trade Duran makes no sense to me. So my thought process on it has always been, look, the Red Sox, they've got Cedon locked up. You've got Roman Anthony locked up. They're younger players. Duran's a leader, and I think that's important for sure. Something that needs to be talked about. But I think when you're talking about, okay, what's Cedon's ceiling? Could it be similar to Jarren Duran's? I like at prime, you have to remember Cedon's only 24 here, right? I think there's a real chance Cedon has a season, that's similar to Jarren Duran's. I think he could do that at a regular level. But the real reason you trade Duran is because, again, you've self-imposed this. It all comes down to whether or not John Henry wants to spend the money, right? If you can turn Jarren Duran, who, again, you have a surplus of in the outfield. It's not like, you're trading, let's say you're trading Trevor or Marcelo Meyer, and you're like, okay, well, now who the hell do you put at second or third base? Or Carlos Narvaez, and you're like, well, now who the hell do you put at catcher? You trade Jarren Duran, you go, okay, well, that's it then. Your outfield's Roman Anthony, Cedon Rafael, Wilyer Bray with Christian Campbell coming off the bench, with Nate Eaton coming off the bench, with Masataka Yoshida maybe getting some, I doubt it, but maybe getting some playing time there. And by doing so, you're able to take, again, I've talked about this 1,000 times, man. If you make one more trade for a starting pitcher, I'm talking a real frontline starting pitcher, you easily, I think, have the best have the best pitching staff in the American League. I think it's easy. Has girlfriend wised up to you? Have you figured out how to make full, complete sentences yet, Eric? Ketel Marte trade talks end before Thursday, the GM said. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if this is sort of, I want to push teams to start bidding, or if this is, hey, we're actually done with this Ketel Marte talk. We'll see which one it ends up being, but I think we're going to talk in more detail about the Ketel Marte stuff that came out tonight, but tomorrow, sorry. What's up, Tracy? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? I've been saying for years the Sox should acquire George Kirby, Tariq Skubal, and Paul Skeens. Yeah, Duran's 2 years younger. $2 super chat from the one and only Robbie Hyde. Robbie, my man. Hey, have you made any sort of announcements yet? I haven't seen it. I don't want to blow anything for you. But Bregman, Marte, or Bichette by Fenway Fest. Give me Bregman or Bichette by Fenway Fest. Give me Bregman or Bichette by Fenway Fest. And I'm happy. When is Fenway Fest this year, actually? Oh, wow. It's in 2 weeks, huh? January 10th? How much is it? It's $85. What are the... Yeah, Chad, I don't think I'm going this year, I'll be honest. But thank you very much, Robbie. I appreciate you, my man. I'm not sure the front office have long-term plans for Duran in the organization. Absolutely no talk of extending him. That's the other thing, too. It doesn't seem like the Red Sox are incredibly inclined to give this guy, a 5-year deal, really, either. Boo. I know, dude. It's just like, for me, like, I'm looking at the Sox Clubhouse in Green Monster, Hall of Fame memorabilia. I don't have any access to media or anything like that. So for me, it would just be the same video. At least with what would it called? Winter weekends, right? Winter weekend, there were different opportunities to interview people. There's not really any opportunities for me to interview anyone. So I don't even know if I'll go. You tried to sell me crypto. Does Fenway Fest money go towards signing someone, or Henry pocket that too? What do you think? Corbin, it's just like last year. I'd rather not spend $85. Should be cold all day. Yeah. You know what I might do? I might just go to Boston. Say hi to my friends, and call it a day. I might do that. What day is it? It's a Wednesday? Saturday. Yeah, I might do that. That's absolutely ridiculous, Jake. No new house view, unfortunately. Hey, what about the new truck, though? Jay, interview the fans. So I did that last year a bit. Who on the current Red Sox would I like to interview the most? On the current Red Sox would I like to interview the most? Oh, Mikey Romero's going. Interesting. Mikey's going. That might change my tune a little bit. Stand outside of Fenway with a sign? No. Interview wise, dude, I think totally would be a great interview, I think. I think Roman. I actually did interview Roman down in Worcester. Marcella, maybe. Let's all start chanting "Sign Bregman." Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray would actually be a really interesting interview, honestly. Standing, imagine there is just like, it's a Fenway Superfest, and they're just panning around. It's just me in the background, like, sign up. Sign that guy. Sign that guy. That would be absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Also, Robbie, I know you threw Marte in there. What do we think about the latest report coming out here? Think he's still on the table or what? I feel like Crochet would be a great interview. Don't get me wrong. Crochet would be a great interview. I'd cry laughing. Corbin released a video packing up a car to go to Fenway Fest. Yep, that's me. Duran isn't going. Hey, listen. Rafael Devers didn't go last year, and guess where he ended up? I'm actually kind of surprised Jarren Duran isn't going, honestly. Besides Bregman leaking the opt-out rumors in the middle of playoff hunt when the team was struggling after losing Roman Anthony didn't sit well, what are you talking about? D-backs GM said if he doesn't move by the New Year's, they're going to focus on new teams. I actually think he was a bit more specific than that. Like the quote Chris Cotillo pulled out was my gut this whole time is that a trade of Marte wasn't going to happen. I think it seems likely that that's the case, and we want to focus on other things we need to do. Interesting. Oh, that's cool, Carrie. Do you think Cattell is holding everything up for Bregman and Bichette? Kind of. I kind of do a little bit. I think D-backs are kind of stuck on the Marte thing. No leverage if they wanted to add Bregman because not enough payroll space unless a third team got involved. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to me. It almost feels like the Diamondbacks rightfully are holding Marte to a higher standard, but in order to move him, you're gonna have to lower that standard, and they're refusing. And it feels like the entirety. And Robbie, I don't know how much you talked about this. I honestly haven't been doing much Red Sox, like paying attention to much Red Sox stuff because of the holidays. I think you did. I think you did. Yeah, you did. You talked about the you talked about the Arizona radio show, right? And how that guy was talking about, oh, it's a done deal, whatever. Not taking too much stock into that, but he did say one thing, right? It hinges on, they're playing a game of chicken. It hinges on Marte. And if you're not going to be willing to bend on your price for Marte, I just don't think he gets traded. And if he's not going to get traded, then you're not going to get Bregman, right? So it's kind of like, do you have to decide? You know, like do you have to pick between Marte and Bregman? And if you do, are you willing to let yourself go a little bit down in terms of your price in order to move Marte? You know? Oh, that's cool, Mike. The Red Sox are fine with leadership. Core and Story are more than enough. Jake, you're arguing with yourself, brother. Don't you remember, Corbin, the rumors leaked during that time? I don't think opt-out rumors for Bregman leaked during the playoffs, dude. In fact, I very specifically remember him saying, "No, I don't want to talk about that. We're only focused on the playoffs." That's literally what he said. Like, people took it as, "Oh, he's going to opt out," but his words were, "I'm not talking about my contract anymore. I'm focused on getting to the playoffs." So I'd like if you took that as he was going to opt out, that's fine. But that wasn't him being like, "Yeah, I'm opting out of this crap hole." You know what I mean? What's up, CG? That's exactly why I love your chances. Our chances to keep Bregman because of the Marte news. I actually do think it makes it a little bit better. Duran's best position is center field, so wouldn't it be best? No, stop it. Stop. Let me try and say that a bit. Let me try and say this a bit calmer, okay? I did an entire 6-minute segment on. I feel like my entire point's ruined now because I got so frustrated I unplugged my microphone. I did an entire 6-minute segment on why it's ridiculous to sit here and say that say Don Rafaela, just because he can play second base, needs to be at second base to accommodate Jaren Wren, who is a very solid center fielder. But Cedon Rafaela is quite literally the best center fielder in baseball, maybe the best defender in baseball outside of the catching position when he's playing center field. Right? Like, not to mention his statistics at the plate when he was at center field versus second base are quite literally night and day. right? To take the quite literal best defensive center fielder in the whole game and put him at second base just because Jarren Duran is decent at center field. I would blow a gasket. I would blow a gasket. Not to mention it makes no sense. What do I think of Sox getting Imai, and what would happen with the Marte trade if we sign him? I don't know how the two are related. I suppose it'd be easier to move on, I guess. Right? But besides that, I don't know how the two are really related. I don't think the Sox are getting Imai. I just don't. It doesn't make sense for the Red Sox, especially if they didn't have a self-imposed budget. I'd be all over Imai. But in order to get him, the only reason they'd be able to get him is if they're able to trade, Patrick Sandoval or something with no money taken. I just don't think it's going to happen. If the White Sox get Imai, that'd be kind of cool, actually. In essence, I say the Red Sox have 4 center fielders. True. Okamoto sign? Question mark? Yeah, probably. Right? Okamoto will probably sign, yeah. Sox get Suarez on a 2 or 3 year deal makes sense and fills a need. God, dude, this guy is just farming my attention tonight. Someone else say something. Outside of this Rocky guy. I have no opinion on what John Henry does with Liverpool. That's not my team. Duran's the odd man out. I think the Red Sox clearly overvalue him based on 2024 season. Seems like it would take Duran and at least 1, if not 2 prospects for Ryan Reagan, etc. Yeah, it was always going to take that. It was never going to be a 1-for-1. I don't think anyone but maybe the Red Sox themselves have said it's going to be a 1-for-1 swap. Heard today the Sox were not in on Okamoto, which makes sense, right? If you brought in Wilson Contreras, which I think was smart. Now you got to go get a more surefire, third baseman. Anyway, we get rid of Massa. Another team. Another team would have to want Massa. Did I ever think Rafaela is the best second baseman in baseball? No, he's not, and he's not close. He was a decent second baseman, a league average second baseman defensively, with quite literally his worst offensive metrics since coming up to Major League Baseball. So what are we doing? What about trading Abreu for a pitcher? I think the Sox are really high on Willier. I think the Red Sox want Willier Abreu real bad. Yeah, I do, Cameron. You can have Massa? True. Do you think we'll actually fix the bullpen? It's rough after Chapman and Whitlock. I don't know about rough. Right? We've said that all year, and he had everyone said that all year, and I think, even we were sitting here like the bullpen needs to be better. The bullpen, they finished with the second best bullpen ERA in baseball. Right? I trust their ability to. I trust their ability to develop bullpen arms. Oh, CG, that's heartbreaking, man. Hey, maybe he turns into a dog in St. Louis. You know what I mean? Breslow is correct to not give away Durant. Yeah. I don't think sitting here and being like we have to trade somebody makes sense. He's the key to Roman being an MVP. True. Marcel Meyer makes Roman Anthony tick. I say go to the Reds and offer Duran and Bayo for Green and a prospect. They would never do that. The Sox will extend Abreu as soon as Duran is traded. I wouldn't be shocked, dude. I really wouldn't be shocked. How's Campbell doing? He finished, because we have actual education out here, Rocky. How's Campbell doing? He finished the Puerto Rican Winter League really well. He went on like a 7-game. I mean, it's a small sample size, so it's tough to. Yeah, it's tough to like sit here and be like he was fantastic or really bad or whatever. But he finished out looking pretty good. I think a lot. There was some pull power that I liked in there. The swing looks a lot better. The swing looks a lot better. What about DH for the Red Sox? Right now it's Massa. Right now it is Massa. Oh, that's cool, Xavier. Did you get crushed? I feel like Roman pitched in high school a little bit. It should be Duran. I don't know. Yeah, I am, Mike. If yeah, if Campbell's a big part of this team, we are definitely making a soup emoji for sure. How much trade value do I think Arias has? Not a ton. I'd imagine a decent amount, but not a ton. Uh, Dude, that Roman Anthony emote right there might be my favorite emote I've ever made, dude. It's so clean, so clean. How does the Costa situation play out? Do I think? Okay. I don't have a crystal ball or anything. So this is just simply my opinion. All right. I think here's what ends up happening. I think the Red Sox start Tristan Casas probably about a month into the season in AAA, just to sort of let him get his footing. Because again, he hasn't been played. He hasn't been played. He hasn't played Major League Baseball really at a consistent level for 2 years now, right? So getting him down there and really sort of taking your time with getting him ready. And then here's my bold prediction. The trade deadline, the Red Sox find a way to dump Massa and make a combination of Casas, Contreras, your DH first base, and boom. The rest is history, as they say. And you know what? Someone clip that so you can put it in the World Series DVD. You know what I mean? Like, that would be ideal, dude. I need a Bregman or Bo signing now. Yeah, brother. I would love to get one of those. I'd love to get one of those. Why is the hot stove gone cold? I think a combination of the holidays and it's sort of being like, these bigger market guys who I think Schwarber and Alonso signed really early because they got the exact deals they were looking for. I don't think either Bregman or Bichette have gotten anything close to what they want and are willing to wait for it. Very thin now in the organization. Yeah, a little bit. But I do think the Red Sox have done a decent job at picking up some interesting positional prospects this offseason. Who's the DH for the Red Sox? Right now it's Masataka Yoshida. Wear the shorts. Brother, it's almost the 1st of January. You think I'm wearing shorts right now? I got my Patriots PJs on. I think that Roman should play DH, Contreras at first base, Roman at second. No. Roman should absolutely be in the outfield. Why don't we sign Bo right now? He's a million times better than Bregman and super clutch. I don't know about a million times better. Why don't they sign him right now? My astute observation as someone who's covered this team is that they don't want to pay him what he's looking for, and the Blue Jays will. That's my answer. Would I rather trade Duran for a bat or an arm? An arm for sure. Give me a even like a young guy. You know what I mean? Do you think Roman Anthony's season's gonna look like this year? I think he's gonna be an all-star. I think he'll be 800 plus OPS guy. I think he'll hit like 20-ish home runs. Duran would have to be moved for an arm. I agree that Costas would be a great move, but he would need to start hot to bolster interest. Yeah, I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't think they're trading Casas. I think they're going to trade Moss at the deadline, and then Casas is going to come up and be mostly a DH. That's what I think. Why are you yelling at me, J.A.? One of the Pirates' young arms for Duran, say Jaron Jones. I love Jared Jones. That'd be a little bit of a tough one to swallow, just because didn't he get Tommy John? Didn't Jared Jones get Tommy John? Oh, he underwent an internal brace surgery. Is there any updates? Oh yeah, Jared Jones took an important step. I love Jared Jones. This would be low key. This would be a name I'd trade Duran for, but I don't think the Pirates do it. And oh my God, there would be an absolute uproar if the Red Sox traded Jarren Duran for someone who's coming off an injury. If the Red Sox don't sign anybody as long as Bregman, Ime, and Bichette stay out of the division, I'm happy with the offseason. I'm not, because I don't think all three of them would stay out of the division. If the Red Sox don't, I already said that. Thoughts on Christian Campbell? I like Campbell, but I think right now his spot on the team is as a fourth outfielder, which is unfortunate, but if he don't be Yoshida, he'll never get another Japanese player. I don't know. I think at this point in his contract, see, I've made similar statements, and I do think there's some merit to it. And I understand there's a whole lot of there's a lot of respect and stuff in the Japanese culture, and I do think that'll have some sort of effect later down the road. But I think you can make the argument at this point to any Japanese player coming over, just sort of how the fit just didn't work. If the Red Sox actually spend money before February 1st, I'll dye my hair red. Someone clip that. Campbell batted .245 in the PR League. He sure did. Thank you for the update. Where does Romy play if we get Bichette or Bregman? Platooning a bit with Marcel Meyer at shortstop, saving our second base. Platooning a bit with Wilson Contreras, even though they're both righties, but platooning a bit. Wilson Contreras over it. Like, he becomes the utility guy he was supposed to be, I think that's the answer. Early rookie of the year coming. Next, Clayton Kershaw. Good Lord. Rusty's has been here for 19 months. No message attached to it. Just want to let us know. Thank you so much, man. That was crazy. What up, Rusty's? 19 months, man. You've almost been here for 2 years. That's crazy. Corbin, do I actually think the Red Sox are on Bichette? I do. Do I think Bregman will sign for anything less than what Alonso got? What was Alonso's official contract? $5 years, 155. Do I think it'll be less than that? Yeah, I think it could be. I could see around 150. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Do I think the D-backs' interest is genuine for Bregman, or is it a game to up the money? I think it is genuinely interest. I do think it's genuinely interest. I don't know. The problem is I don't have inside sources, right? So it's the same stuff you guys are going off of. My guess, based on everything we've heard, is that the Diamondbacks kind of sat there with, hey, if we can move Marte, we might be willing to actually go pretty hard for Bregman because we really like that fit better than we like the Marte fit personally. But if you don't trade Marte, that doesn't work, right? I don't know. Who could we actually afford to bring in? I mean, technically anybody, but it would have to, like I said, it would have to be It would have to be sign Bregman or Bichette and then trade somebody in a bit of a salary dump. Who's the next big Red Sox prospect? Kyson Witherspoon, Dorian Soto, Justin Gonzalez. Those would be my names. Henry Godbout is a name that a lot of people have been talking about too. We should sign Drake made a pitch. Dude, at this point, maybe. Do I think Breslow didn't want to trade Marcel? Yeah, I think we know that, right? An article came out early in the offseason that talked about the fact that we knew the Diamondbacks were talking about Meyer, and the Red Sox were like, no, we think we can get a deal done without it. Don't think so, but yeah, I don't think they want to sign him. Not David Ortiz's son? No, I don't think so. Love Justin Gonzalez? Yeah, Justin Gonzalez could end up being an absolute dog for you. Where is Ortiz's son on this ranking? I don't even think he's top 50. He might be. No, he's not. What's his last name? D'Angelo, right? D'Angelo Ortiz. Yeah, I mean, he was fine. It wasn't like anything crazy. 0 home runs, 269 average, 368 on base percentage, which is solid, but his slug was 298. He had five doubles and 65 hits with 1 triple. 28 RBIs, but that was it. He's still got a long ways to go. And he's 20 years old. No, he never went to the DSL. Forgot I was live tonight? Hi, I'm here. Have the ticket winners been picked? No, I'm waiting for them to announce opening day tickets. We really need to give Meyer an opportunity. The talent. I agree. Sign Bregman, trade the Rand to KC for a pitcher, and package Bayo with someone for AZ for Marte. Happy offseason. There's no way all of that happens. Yeah, Dubs, good. I'm glad you got it. Sorry it took so long. Would I predict the Red Sox sign up? I think the Red Sox sign a free agent. Although when did playoffs? What week do the Patriots playoffs start? Does John Early actually care about the Red Sox? Does he put them at number 1? No. Who, J.I.? Who are you talking about? Any updates? No, Mike. I told you guys you got to be patient. I needed to get through Christmas. I got to get through New Year's, and then we'll start sending those out. Are the ones online a scam? Did I miss an announcement? Usually they announce like online, opening day tickets are now available for single. Did I miss that? Maybe I missed it. Then I got to do that giveaway. Oops. If Toronto gets Bregman, I think it would be highly likely. If the Yankees tank this year, I'd go absolutely crazy. You're looking at SeatGeek and StubHub. I buy them when the actual Red Sox, like the MLB.com, when they start ticket. No, I don't want season tickets. I do not have the money for that. Yeah, they don't have 2026 single game tickets available yet. So those might be people who are either season ticket holders reselling them or pre-sell, like they're assuming they're going to get them and then sell them to you. What's crazy, the college football stadium Fenway hold 35. College stadium sell out every game and Fenway doesn't? Yeah, I guess. Am I going to the home opener? I'll probably go to the home opener. Definitely won't go to the opening day in Cincinnati. No traveling for me until I get married this year. Next year. This year? I don't know. One of the two. Do I have the date for opening day tickets release time? No, I have no idea. Usually I get an email. If I could take one Red Sox legend out of retirement to fit our current team, who would it be? Manny Ramirez. Red Sox got to open up the wallet. What's the best case scenario we can hope for? I think re-signing Bregman or Bichette, one of the two. Bobby D getting 6 figures after Japan MVP. Imagine. I gotta say, folks who continue to harp Henry need to sell the team. He's selling the Sox are a cash cow, and this is a business. Yeah, dude. Henry, I've said this from the beginning. Henry will never sell this team. There's really no reason for them to be cheap. They make so much damn money. True. How was my Christmas? First person I asked that. It's crazy. It was good, man. It was good. Thank you. How was yours? Am I a student by chance? Nah. Little old to be a student. I think they said February 8th for tickets and maybe early access at Fenway Fest, but I'm trying to find it. February 8th makes sense. And then, yeah, Fenway Fest, you do get a free ticket. Well, free. It comes with an $85 ticket for April or May, but it's not for opening day. I already tried that. Do I think the sale of the Penguins have anything to do with them possibly spending money on the Red Sox? Nope. What's my main? I sit behind a desk, brother. I'm a cubicle. I'm a cubicle monkey. 9 to 5, my man. 9 to 5. It's super fun. If you guys work a 9 to 5, I'm sure you agree, especially behind a cubicle. He uses it at 401k. Kids were sick. Oh, that sucks, Robbie. I'm glad it was still good though. There was one year, one Christmas where my entire family, outside my littlest brother, we had the stomach bugs, so we all had to open presents next to trash cans. What's my prediction for Christian Campbell in 26? My prediction is he starts the year as a 4th outfielder. And then either depending on injury or just performance, I could also see him splitting some time at second base too with Marcel Meyer over there, hopefully. And just sort of that being his role in 26. And then as he continues to develop, hopefully he plays well enough where we have a conversation about him becoming a full-time player there. But, yeah, I would say for now it's as a 4th outfielder. Is your job like Office Space? No. Do I have a red stapler? No. But I should get one. So KC kind of replaces Ref Snyder right now? Yeah, kind of. He looks jacked. Yeah. Christian Campbell looks like an absolute dog. Tristan Casas prediction. So, all right. So my official prediction for Tristan Casas, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Starts the year in AAA, but not at the beginning of the year. I think it takes him about a month to get to AAA. And then I think he spends about a month and a half in AAA, really getting his footing. I'm talking playing every day, first base every day, really sort of figure himself out there. And then my official prediction, and this is maybe a little bit of a hot take, is I think they are going to trade Masso and Tristan's ready, like full dump them. Bring up Tristan and have Tristan and Wilson Contreras split first base. And then whoever's not playing DH. I really do think that could be really good. Do I wear Red Sox every day? I'm not wearing Red Sox right now, actually. I would say 95% of the time I'm wearing Southern Red Sox. I'm not today. I'm wearing Patriots PJ pants and this really fantastic warm thermal. Hey, you too, Snowman. I hope you have a good New Year. Maybe in the near future, MLB will put another team in Boston to rival them. That's never going to happen. Eden will take the Ref Snyder role. Campbell start the season in Worcester. I don't know. I just think that I think that Christian Campbell's a higher ceiling than Eden. It's a Boston staple in the movie. Oh, yeah. See, I've never seen Office Space. Any thoughts on Stephon Diggs' situation? Honestly, no. I think it's terrible if he did it. But we shall see. Like when that happened, my first thought wasn't, man, the Patriots are kind of screwed. It was, God, that'd be awful if he actually did do that. We'll see though. You know, we'll see what ends up happening. Not a real fan if you don't wear Red Sox. It also doesn't make any sense that the Sox don't wear red socks in there. Oh, you meant literal red socks? I'm not even wearing socks right now. I don't like wearing socks in the house. My fiance is the exact opposite way. She only wears socks. I don't like wearing socks in the house. I don't know. Call me weird. I wear the same socks hat I bought in 23, same sock shirt I bought. Oh, you're still complaining about not buying anything. I see. Do I think the Sox signed Danny Colombe? I don't know how to pronounce that guy's last name. I think it could be an option. You have a Red Sea Radio hoodie on right now? Let's go. Dude, the hoodies are incredible quality. Like I had a few and I hadn't really used them because I got them in the summer. I put them on recently. They are really good.
Yes, Jay, I suppose there's always a world in which that could happen, but I don't realistically see it happening.
Does that help? This guy's been yelling at me all night. I had to yell back. So if Campbell's the fourth outfielder, where's Duran getting traded and for who? Oh, I suppose that's true. I kind of forgot there's already 4 outfielders. Okay, put him in the. I don't want to have this conversation again. So put him in I guess the fifth. He's the fourth outfielder. He's the platoon for Jarren Duran because Duran's not great against lefties. Honestly, neither is Willie Bray. You could platoon him for either of those guys. When's the next sponsor for live streams? I don't know. Anyone out there looking to sponsor me?
Send Duran to the Rockies. All right, JL, get right on it.
That's how I'm answering JA. The rest is, I'm probably going to head off in a second, but if they lose Bregman and don't sign a star, should Breslow be fired? Is it Breslow's fault if they do that, or was it more of a, causalism? Chad, I'm so bad with words. Is it an effect? Is it Breslow's fault, or is it because this ownership hamstrung him? That's the ultimate question, right? And I think that's the one that needs to be answered. Causation? No, it's like cataclysm or something. Given the numbers, I don't think Campbell makes a team unless Duran is traded. I don't know about that. The team's going to be good, B. It's just a matter of whether or not they're a World Series team. Platoon for Duran. Yeah, I think it will ultimately be a platoon for Duran. Like, I think that's where Campbell ends up. I think he makes it to the Chico's bail bonds. What if we put Bo Bichette at DH? I'm not paying that much. Who gets fired first? Breslow, Tomlin, or Harbaugh? Dude, Tomlin seems to be a fixture, man. I don't think he gets fired. Are you can't fire Breslow. You have to let this ride out. You have to, right? You made your bed when you fired Heimblum. Right? That's the answer. You made your bed when you fired Heimblum. You went through like you realize that no veteran GMs are going to want to come over here because there's no job security. So until you prove that you can commit to a GM or a CBO or whatever, you're going to have an even harder time this time without Craig Breslow. Any new merch coming? I have to talk to my merch guy, but my goal is to get some new merch out for spring training. We'll see. Is there any truth to Mason Miller? I think there's truth. I don't think that he ends up getting traded. I think the price will be too high. If the Red Sox have a bad reputation among executives around the game, 5 different heads of baseball ops in 14 years, not a good look. True. Red Sea tote bag. I'll look into it. Don't not trade Duran? Wow. Which player do you think improves the most? Mine's Bayo and Anthony. Improves? I think Willie Abreu has a real statement season. Meyer. I think Meyer too. Make it oversized up by 3. You should make a Roman Anthony sweatshirt. Yeah, if I want to get sued. Red Seat sunscreen. Yeah, hell yeah. There we go. That might be exactly what we're doing, Boston. I'd love a full zip hoodie option, please. Okay. I'll take it into consideration. If Durant's traded, does the new team have the same options in his current contract? No. Yes. Can't wait to see Roman Anthony, Marcel Meyer, and Alex Bregman hitting dingers. True. And that's a good note to leave it on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for being here. Listen, a huge thank you. This is the last Red Seat stream of 2025. That's crazy. That's crazy to say, isn't it? Crazy to say, man. I appreciate all of you being here, whether you were here the whole year, whether you're new, whether this is your first live stream, man. I appreciate all of you guys. You mean a ton to me. You mean the world to me. Truly. So thank you. Here's to a better 2026 for us, for the Red Sox, for your friends, for your family. And here's to the Red Sox actually doing something. I'll see you tomorrow. We are talking about what am I most proud of this year. I think finally being able to stream playoff games was the first. It was the first time I ever got to stream a playoff game. So that was, I think, one of my most proud moments on this channel. But I appreciate you all. 20,000 subscribers. What am I talking about? Hitting 20,000 subscribers. Biggest moment for sure. Most proud I've been of this channel ever. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. I'll see you tomorrow with Ketel Marte. Some news there. And as always, I will see you